Welcome. This is the NuCalm introductory training. NuCalm is an amazing technology, and if you started using it, I suspect that you found it to be powerful, precise, personal, and cumulative. My name is Jim Poole. I am the president and CEO of Solace Life Sciences, the neuroscience company that makes NuCalm, and for the past 16 years, been leading the charge here to bring this amazing invention to the world. Don't let the ease of use belie the complexity of behind what we do. We've been at this for 35 years. But before we get started in NuCalm and the applications of how to get the most out of this technology, let's speak a little bit about the human brain. The human brain is how it's wired. The human brain is how it operates, and the human brain as how it relates to frequency, vibration, and resonance. So the human brain has several nervous systems, but the two functional nervous systems that we pay attention to, the first one is called the autonomic nervous system. Now, the autonomic nervous system governs a lot of aspects of our daily life. Let's start with fight, flight, or freeze. So the autonomic nervous system manages our ability to exercise our survival instincts and keep us alive. The autonomic nervous system manages our involuntary bodily functions like our heart rate, our breath, our digestion. And the autonomic nervous system also manages fear, stress, anxiety, depression, and worry. So as you can imagine, this part of our brain and our evolution has a lot of responsibility. Now, the autonomic nervous system is managed by an almond-shaped piece in our midbrain called the amygdala. Literally, it's the shape of an almond. And this piece kind of manages all of these aspects of our behavioral pattern. Now, it is suspected that this part of our brain has 40 million years of neuronal circuitry. 40 million years. So this is a perfect architected system. It knows how to do its job. And unfortunately for us today in 2025, it's really good at its job and it's a workaholic. The autonomic nervous system, which some people call the reptile brain, is a workaholic and it loves to work, which means that our brain is built and wired to love to worry and engage in anxiety and distraction and fear. The second part of our brain we want to pay attention to is the prefrontal and frontal cortex, our forehead. This part of our brain separates us from primates. This part of our brain is our patience, our presence, our executive functioning, our logic, our decision making. This is our personality. This is who we are. This part of our brain is suspected to be about 4 million years of neuronal circuitry. So the evolution and the circuitry and the architecture of this part of the human brain is 4 million years evolved. Perfect system. A lot of years of learning. So here's the challenge. The amygdala, fight, flight, or freeze, fear, stress, anxiety, depression, worry, agitation, impatience, has a 36 million year head start on our patience, our presence, our executive functioning, our logic, our decision making, our personality, our character. So if we think about this for a second, think of the last time you were agitated, distracted, and just having a bad day. You weren't really thinking well. You didn't have access to being patient. You didn't have access to being present. You didn't have the capability to be responsive to other triggers while you were in this agitated state. Now, why is that? Well, the currency of the human brain is not time. It is not money. It is not attention span. The currency of the human brain is oxygen-rich red blood. So every minute of every hour of every day, our brain is battling for resources. So it is a battle inside of our cranium between the amygdala and the almond-shaped midbrain, reptile part of our brain, and our forehead. And the battle is over oxygen-rich red blood. So when we are triggered, when we are anxious, when we are fearful, when we are worried, when we are agitated, impatient, distracted, there's not enough oxygen-rich red blood flow here. It's all here and then mobilized to our body. It's mobilizing us to protect us. This seems like a setup, and it is. And it's a challenge for all of us. But I think when we understand how the brain is wired and understand that really the advantage goes to fear, stress, anxiety, depression, worry, then we realize, okay, there's some things that I can control, and there's a lot of things I can't control. And the evolution of our brain, the circuitry of our brain is designed for survival. The challenge for us is that the brain hasn't evolved fast enough to make up for the transition of our culture. We don't live in caves anymore. At darkness, people don't come to eat us in caves, but our brain circuitry hasn't evolved to make up for contemporary society. The third aspect here is about vibration, resonance, and frequency. Frequency. Your brain, my brain, everybody's brain oscillates in a frequency range. This frequency range is 41 hertz, from zero point 0.5 hertz all the way up to 41 hertz. So 0.5 hertz, it's a big waveform. There are 5 categories of brainwave function. You may have heard of some of these. Delta, theta, and alpha are slow waveforms in sleep. Beta and gamma are faster waveforms. So here's where it gets interesting for all of us. Your behavior, your mood, and your thinking is directly correlated to the frequency of your brainwave. So when your brain is oscillating at 0.5 hertz to 4 hertz, we know what you're doing. You are in dreamless, like deep sleep of delta. Your body is restoring. When your brain is oscillating at 4 hertz to 7 hertz, we know what you're doing. You are in a least lucid dream state, deep REM. But theta is also known as the healing zone. It sounds like a place we want to spend time in, because it is. The healing zone and what happens in that frequency range, which is just above deep sleep. This is where our cells do their cellular maintenance and clean their toxins, and the mitochondria, which is the energy source of our cells, is restored. This is the reason and the frequency range of sleep that humans need to sleep to stay alive. There's a purpose why we need to sleep, and that is to oscillate in 4 hertz brainwave function. 8 hertz to 12 hertz is alpha. Many of us have heard of alpha. It's synonymous with transcendental meditation, being in the creative state, being relaxed, and falling into sleep. That's 8 hertz to 12 hertz. Then we get into beta. 13 to 15 hertz is I'm awake, but I'm not that inspired. 15 to 20 hertz is the learning zone. There is a learning zone associated with frequencies in the human brain. And in this state, specifically 18.4 hertz, your brain is able and capable of encoding new information and analyzing new things, new material, and then consolidating these new materials to memory. This is the learning zone. 20 to 25 hertz is stress. It's worry. It's anxiety. It's agitation. It's distraction. It's impatience. It's I'm not really myself and I'm not really having a great day. 25 to 30 hertz is more of the same, just worse. More stress, more worry, more fear, more anxiety, more distraction, more agitation, more impatience. 30 to 38 hertz is complete cognitive dissociation. Your mental capacity as a human is gone, and you are in pure fight or flight or in a state of shock. So if you've ever witnessed somebody in an accident or they're in a state of shock, if you recall looking into their eyes, it was like looking into a shark's eyes. There was nothing there, completely blank. Now, what's interesting in that state is their ears can still hear information, their brain can't process anything. Then we get above the highest level of fear and we get into the sweet spot called gamma. And this is fascinating. Gamma, 39 to 41 hertz, above the highest level of fear, is this sweet spot associated with high performance, associated with activating your gross motor cortex, your sensory motor rhythm, your peripheral vision, your olfactory. You're literally putting yourself in a state of unstoppable absolute certainty with exceptional mental acuity. So, why am I telling you this? Because we think we're unique. And there are a lot of things about your experience that is unique to you. But our brains are made up of the same parts. Everybody's brain, 8.4 billion people that walk this earth today, their brains are made up of the same parts, and we play in the same operating system. So we all have a connective tissue of relative experience because everything that we experience internally is identical. When my brain's at 1 hertz, I'm in dreamless like deep sleep. Same for you. When my brain's at 5 hertz, I'm healing. When it's at 10 hertz, I'm relaxed. When it's at 15 hertz, I'm a little focused. 18.4 hertz, I'm very focused. 23 hertz, I'm distracted. 25 hertz, I'm stressed. 28 hertz, I'm agitated. It's all the same. So when we go back in time and begin in the dawn of cavemen and cavewomen, we learn that humans have either discovered or created ways to change their state of mind, and we don't do this internally. We rely on external stimulation. For example, today, if you're feeling mentally lethargic, you may reach for a Red Bull, a Monster Energy, a 5 Hour Energy, espresso, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, you name it. This multi-billion-dollar accelerant drink or sugar drink marketplace to make us think faster. Now, it's not magic. Caffeine isn't magic. It simply increases the frequency of our brainwave. If we're having a tough day, we're in psychic pain, we just need an escape, we might have a glass of wine. And isn't it interesting? You take that first sip or two, and it's like, wow, the weight of the world just rolled off my shoulders. All the things that were bothering me no longer seem to bother me. Again, that's not magic either. It slowed down our brainwave function. If we feel anxious, we take anti-anxiety pills. If we feel depressed, we take antidepressants. And if we have trouble sleeping, we take sleeping pills. So think about this. We as a human species rely on external stimulation to modulate our behavior, our thinking, and our mood. We're not even aware of this. And all we're doing is modulating the frequency of our brainwave. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is your brain. That is your operating system. You have an amygdala, a fear response, a fight or flight response. You have the prefrontal cortex, which separates us from primates. This is your personality, your character, your ability to be responsive. We have oxygen-rich red blood as the currency and how resources are deployed across our brain. And we have frequencies. Now, it is by design, not by coincidence. Think about the last time you were really stressed out. What do you think was happening? Your brainwave frequency was going 25, 26, 27 hertz. Your breath was shallow. Your amygdala was activated. Your fear center is activated. Distractions activated. You're impatient. So this is all related. High frequency, shallow breath. Shallow breath, very little oxygen here. Now, 3,500 years ago, meditation was invented. Meditation. What is the physiological benefit of meditation? Why would I want to meditate? Well, the physiological benefit of meditation is simply to place oxygen-rich red blood cells here. So with breath work, your brain doesn't have a gate. It doesn't say, hey, we're going to oxygenate your body, but we're going to not oxygenate this part of our brain. So when we are in breath and say we're breathing one breath every 10 seconds, which is the diaphragmatic breathing in theta, we're putting oxygen-rich red blood here. This is mindfulness. I know it seems esoteric, and for a lot of us, we don't really understand it. It's not tangible. I can't see it. I can't feel it. I can't touch it. I can't feel stress and touch it. I can't smell it, but it's real. Just because it's not tangible doesn't mean it's not real. So this is the operating system of our brain. Well, how did NuCalm come to be? Why are we here? What's our mission and our purpose? Our mission began in 1990 with the brilliant neuroscientist, quantum physicist, naturopath, a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford, studied philosophy at the Sorbonne University in Paris, and ran a clinical practice in Texas serving complex trauma and addiction for more than 40 years. He began a journey in 1990 to find a safer alternative to narcotic-based pharmaceutical intervention. You see, if you present to a psychiatrist, a counselor, a PhD psychologist, and you say, hey, I feel traumatized, or I have complex trauma, or I have addiction, I have whatever, chances are they can ask you to hold out your hand and give you a narcotic-based pharmaceutical. But in reality, as we're kind of starting to figure out, these narcotic-based pharmaceuticals are not addressing the root cause of the problem. It's simply putting a Band-Aid on the symptom. So it's not helping me get well. It's just dulling my ability to feel the pain that I'm feeling. So Dr. Holloway went on this quest, and it took him 19 years to invent the concept of NuCalm. 19 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Blake Holloway was by far the smartest human being I have ever met. I run a neuroscience company. We have 52 medical advisors, the best and the brightest scientists in the world. I get to lecture all over the world to the best scientists in the world. I get to meet a lot of really smart people. By far, Blake was the smartest human I have ever met. And in his presence, everybody around him realized this man might be the smartest person I've ever met. It took him 19 years to figure this out. And what did he figure out? There are two ways to naturally modulate brainwave frequencies without the external stimulation I spoke of, without drugs, without alcohol, without caffeine. The first way, frequency following response using visual stimulation. So you're following a frequency to elicit a response. And this is made famous by Sigmund Freud, pocket watch, and it's effective, but it's not predictable. About 35% of the human population can avoid this form of entrainment. Why? Well, we speculate because of their complex trauma or addiction, their locus of control, their necessity to control everything has their amygdala inflamed, highly agitated, and they're not going to fall for that. But there is a second way to do this, and that is through your ears. What Blake invented was a software. The software includes very complex science, pitch and frequency matrices, isochronic and binaural beat delivery mechanisms. And the key, the secret sauce to how this became the only patented technology in the world, how we became a medical device through the FDA, all the stuff that we've done. The key and the secret sauce to NuCalm is he understood I can't just present a static, simple pattern to the human brain. It must have a complexity to it, or your brain will figure it out. You see, your brain has something called the reticular activating system, and the reticular activating system is the most powerful filter in the world. If you think about how much information you get into your brain all the time, every day, billions of packets of information coming into your visual cortex through your eyes, millions of packets of information coming into your olfactory through your nose, millions of information coming in through the auditory motor cortex in your ears, tactile, your intuition. So all of your senses are bringing all this information in. Can you imagine if you had to process all that information? You would go insane. The reticular activating system filters all this information and says, hey, Jim, you need to pay attention to this. You don't need to pay attention to that. So this reticular activating system has two defined goals. Number one, pattern recognition. It must find the pattern in everything. Number two, finding shortcuts. So the reticular activating system is the reason why for humans there's no such thing as a second first impression, which I think is a bummer. When we do something new for the first time and it's mesmerizing, it's life-changing, we want to do it again. That's natural. We want to do it again. But you'll notice in your life and in your history and in your memory bank, there's no such thing as a second first impression. Now, why is that? The reticular activating system. Your central nervous system has one defined goal above all else, and that is self-preservation. So every time we go and do something new, your brain is looking for familiarity and security. It needs to have an anchor. If it doesn't have an anchor, it'll never relax. So in doing this new thing, your brain is using all of its resources, your eyes, your ears, your nose, your touch, your taste, and it's identifying everything like on a nanosecond level with exceptional precision and intensity. But because the reticular activating system recognizes patterns so well, the second time you go to do something, it already understands all the patterns. In fact, it can predict things. So this part of our brain is fascinating, and it keeps us from going insane, where we don't have to process millions and millions and billions of bits of information every day. But there is no such thing as a second first impression, and that's how the brain is wired. So Dr. Holloway understood the complexity of the brain, and he understood that I must trick the reticular activating system in order to create a product that works. And that is the secret sauce of NuCalm. In this software is a nonlinear oscillating algorithm. It's perpetually dynamically moving, and it never gets to an endpoint. There's no simplicity to it. So software developed. We put music over the software. Not because we have to, but we want to create a nice experience for you. You put headphones on. We are using your ears to carry precise signals to your brain. And your brain, just like my brain, happily synchronizes to these precise signals. And here's what's cool. NuCalm and the signals we're presenting are inaudible to the human ear. You can't hear what we're doing. So you put music on, you listen to it. Yeah, this sounds good. And then, according to the matrix, we take you to a certain outcome. So this is revolutionary. It is the only patented technology in the world to balance the human nervous system without drugs. It took us 5 years of research looking at stage 4 cancer patients versus the Chicago Blackhawks professional hockey team, doing data analysis with scientists from NASA and Harvard. You name it, we did it. This technology went through the FDA as a Class 3 medical device, went through Health Canada approval, went through military approval. It used to be a highly regulated $6,000 FDA Class 3 medical device. Had 4 components. It was a little cumbersome. Took a few minutes to administer. Where did we start? Well, on November 5th, 2009, we brought this invention to the medical field. And we began by using this in surgeries to replace general anesthesia. So if you want to know how powerful the NuCalm physics platform is, how powerful the NuCalm rescue product on the mobile app is, we've done more than 2,600,000 surgical procedures replacing general anesthesia, with people being operated on, wearing an eye mask and headphones, listening to our physics. And it is mind-boggling. We've witnessed hundreds of surgeries. It never gets old. Every time I do it, I'm like, how are we doing this? In that state of 4 hertz, your brain is available to know that, hey, I'm being operated on. Your body is in a position where it can't find a place to care. So we would interview people before surgery, and it was awful. They looked crazy scared. Their eyes were darting, their neck was flush, They had no saliva. They were talking in gibberish. You just want to give them a hug. You're like, you're a mess. Afterwards, they look at you. They've just been operated on. They look completely relaxed and they say, I knew you were operating on me. I couldn't find a place to care. That's how this all started. It started in medicine. From 2009 to 2021, we had a single product company called Rescue. Rescue is the key to all of our longevity. It is the key to your resilience. It is the key to your healing. It is the key to lowering your inflammation. Why? Because it is a product that suspends your brain in theta, the healing zone, 4 hertz to 7 hertz. Back in 2011, the esteemed statistical biophysicist, Dr. Chung Kang Pang, called me up and he said, Jim, are you aware that 20 minutes of your product is equivalent to 2 hours of restorative sleep? And I said, no, CK, I was not. In fact, I'm not even sure what you're talking about. He said, well, in sleep, there are cycles, and we start sleep in a 100-minute cycle and 90-minute cycle. But in the sleep architecture, there's a healing zone. It's theta brainwave function, 4 hertz to 7 hertz. That's where the cells clean their toxins, the mitochondria is stored. That is why humans must sleep. Your technology is taking me to that place and holding me there. So 20 minutes of rescue is equivalent to 2 hours of restorative sleep. Not 2 hours of sleep, REM and light and deep. No, 2 hours of the most powerful restorative sleep. So rescue should become your daily go-to. Why? Because you as a human are going to experience stress every single day for the rest of your life, just as you've experienced stress every day from birth to this point today. Stress doesn't take a holiday. In fact, with the advent of all this technology, we seem to be more prone to everybody else's stress on a whim. Stress is never going away. How you respond to it can change. How you respond to it when you use rescue every day. And in rescue, what are we doing? In rescue, we are slowing down your brainwave. We are holding you in theta. We are opening up your diaphragmatic breathing. We are putting your respiration to 1 breath every 10 seconds. We are oxygenating your prefrontal frontal cortex, your forehead, and we're allowing you to downregulate your stress with no effort. We're allowing you to slow down the frequency of your brain. Anytime you're having a bad day, anytime you're feeling agitated, anytime you're feeling fatigued or just, hey, I'm just don't feel good, get an eye mask, get a headphone, find a safe, comfortable place, lay down, and do rescue. It's as quick as 20 minutes. And you will meditate like a monk. We say this because in the literature, and we've been working with monks for 12 years, literally monks use rescue to relax. Seems crazy. But you can meditate like a monk without ever having to learn how to meditate. Set it and forget it. Our neuroscience will do all the work. So why do you need an eye mask for rescue and PowerNap and FlowState? Because the visual cortex. You don't sleep with your eyes open. When you do try to meditate, you don't meditate with your eyes open. You don't relax with your eyes open. We get too much information from our visual cortex. You must put an eye mask on to use rescue. Otherwise, we can't take you to that deep cellular healing zone. It's impossible. You must use an over-ear headphone. Why? Your brain doesn't want to be manipulated. Nobody's brain wants to be manipulated by anything. Your body and your brain have a perfect blueprint for your health. It knows how to take care of you. The problem is the amygdala is too strong in our physiology, and our monkey mind is too active. So it overrides our bodily function. But your brain doesn't want to be invaded by anything ever. So the beauty of NuCalm is your brain can't hear what we're doing. So it's like a Trojan horse. Now, there are 2 ways to deliver signals to the human brain. First way is called binaural signal processing or binaural beat. Now, binaural beat's been around since 1839, and it's a really fascinating science. Essentially, a German scientist discovered that if you present different frequencies in each ear, the brain compensates for the different frequencies and it subtracts the difference. I mean, it's amazing. The brain is amazing. This is an amazing invention. You're like, wow, that is really cool. So if I wanted to present your brain with 12 hertz, which is beginning to relax and it's a little focused, 12 hertz, I would present 500 hertz in your left ear, 512 in your right ear. The brain subtracts the difference in your left with 12 hertz. That's binaural beat. The second way to deliver a signal to the brain is called isochronic waveform. So embedding signals into ambient music presented through a speaker, the brain synchronizes to those signals. Binaural beat or binaural signal processing is stronger, more effective, and more precise. Isochronic waveform is strong and effective, less precise. So all of our physics, everything on the app that you have access to, and you have access to everything, uses both forms of delivering signals to your brain. Every track we built uses binaural signal processing and isochronic waveform. So there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of gizmos and gadgets. There's a lot of marketing. There's a lot of fluff. And there's going to be a lot more. The sleep industry and the wellness industry is close to $2 trillion. And in capitalism, when there's an opportunity like that, there's going to be a lot of things coming your way. There's nothing like NuCalm in the world. We've already proven that by being awarded the only patent in the world for balancing the nervous system without drugs. But then in 2021, we were awarded another patent for the only method used to elicit a state change in the human brain. Remember, we're a 35-year-old neuroscience company delivering complex neuroscience through a mobile app. We're not an app company. We're not an entertainment company. We're not a music company. Binaural beat, there are thousands, if not millions, of binaural beat tracks online. So how are they different from NuCalm? Well, binaural beat is a delivery mechanism, a delivery tool. So for example, if I were to order a pizza pie and the delivery boy shows up, I don't eat the delivery boy. That's the delivery mechanism. I eat the pizza. The pizza is what you're presenting to my brain, and it better have a complexity to it, or the reticular activating system will figure that out. So anything that preceded NuCalm and anything since that we can gather pales by comparison. Why? Well, first of all, they weren't built by a neuroscientist. I believe Dr. Holloway is probably the only neuroscientist spent 19 years of his life trying to figure this out. But secondarily, the beat is simple. It's static. So the first time you listen to something, from Hollow Sync, the Monroe Institute, the Silver System, the David System, the millions of apps that are online, first time you listen to it, it's amazing. You have an amazing experience. Second time you listen to it, it's really good. Third time you listen to it, it's okay. Fourth time you listen to it, nothing happens because the pattern has been figured out. So remember, the secret sauce to NuCalm is the nonlinear oscillating algorithm. The 35 years and $50 million of patented neuroscience delivered through a mobile app. So you put a headphone on. Once this headphone comes on, it's over. Your brain is going to oscillate with the frequency matrix. The precision is impressive and incredible. You put your eye mask on, you put your headphones on, and we know minute 5 of Rescue 20, your brain's at 4 hertz. You are in the healing zone. Minute 8 of Rescue 30, Rescue 40 and 50, you're at 8 hertz and healing. For those of you who haven't experienced it yet, what does it feel like? Well, you find a safe, comfortable place, you get your eye mask, you get your headphones, you select your track, you press start. All that's good. You lay down. First couple of minutes, nothing happens. Nothing. You're probably listening, you're thinking about what you need to do, and then all of a sudden, you start feeling your body get heavy. You start noticing your respiration slow down, and then you kind of start skipping in and out of sleep. You are literally levitating just above deep sleep in the healing zone. It's hard to articulate because it's like a lucid dream state. For me personally, I travel too much and I push too hard, so I pass out almost every time I do rescue 20 or 30. Earlier this afternoon, I did rescue 20. I have no idea where I went. First couple minutes, I was fine. All of a sudden, gone. And then I come to. How the matrix works is if it's 20 minutes or 30 minutes, it takes us 5 minutes to take you down. We call this the departure lounge. Your brain has a locus of control. It has a control matrix. It will not allow us to just take you down to theta. Won't work. So we take you down, we take you up, we take you down, we take you up, we take you down, we take you up. And then at minute 5 of rescue 20, you're at 4 hertz and you're there and you're healing and you're lowering your inflammation and you're increasing your resilience, your longevity. Everything about that space is amazing. And then the last 2 minutes of rescue 20, we take you back up. So you pop out of it. Rescue 30, it's 8 minutes down, 4 minutes up. So there's a matrix associated with this. And rescue is the key therapy for all of humanity, from monks to punks, pilots to passengers, you name it. We've served millions and millions and millions of people since 2009. And one of the coolest things about this technology is we can do no harm. NuCalm cannot hurt you, ever. There's nothing to do. All we're doing is modulating like an old thermostat in your home when we were growing up, is just dialing it down or dialing it up. No drugs, no side effects, no training, no practice, no rituals, no nothing. Just get your eye mask, your headphone, rescue. Eye mask, headphone, PowerNap. Eye mask, headphone, FlowState. Those three slow you down, take you down, and hold you in a state. Focus is for getting stuff done with mental clarity. Focus takes your brain, remember the learning zone, between 15 and 20 hertz. Focus takes you to 18.4 hertz. In that state, there are no distractions. In that state, you are laser focused on what your mind intends to focus on. It is amazing. So if you want to get more done in less time, put focus on with a headphone and get it done. From chores to walking to anything. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You will have a laser focus. And one of the cool things about focus is you can listen to this all day long. There is no harm or foul at 18.4 hertz. Nothing. You can do yourself no disservice, but you can get a lot more done and have great mental clarity. Ignite, on the other hand, does come with a couple caveats. So, Ignite was built for special forces, elite military operators, professional athletes, elite FBI, hostage rescue team operators. Ignite amplifies your brain, brings you to the highest peak state of 41 hertz, activates your gross motor cortex, activates your sensory motor rhythm, improves your peripheral vision, activates your olfactory, literally puts you in a state of unstoppable peak performance. We do it in 12 and a half to 13 and a half minutes. And again, there's a matrix associated with this. We start you at 15 hertz. And over the time, we bring your brain, and in the last 3 minutes of all the Ignite tracks, we call pure warrior brain. You are amped up. You're going to crush whatever it is you're looking to do, period. Workout, cardio, musculature, performance, talk in a boardroom, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're thinking about doing, there's no space in your brain for self-doubt, for confusion. We've been using this with the elite military for almost a decade. People going into missions in the middle of the night, acclimatizing to 10,000 feet in places that they've never been before, malnourished, sleep deprived, none of it matters. They're listening to this to put them into a peak state to perform their mission and keep themselves safe and their team members safe. Ignite with a headphone, 13 minutes. Many people have adopted Ignite as a morning replacement for coffee. Coffee's amazing. It's very predictable. It amplifies your frequency and gets your brain thinking, but it also messes with your microbiome and all those other good things in your gut. So maybe it's not so good for you to have 2 or 3 cups of coffee. Maybe you have just 1 cup of coffee and listen to Ignite. I personally begin each morning with Ascend, which is in the Mastermind Vault. That is a track built for mental acuity. There's a mental aspect to 40 hertz, not just the physical. And then I listen to Triumphant, and I'll listen to them 3 or 4 times, and I feel amazing. So I'm quite amplified and ready to go. Throughout the day, I'll listen to Focus, especially if I'm reviewing a contract or an agreement or whatever, and I don't want to make any mistakes. So that's kind of the daily routine. When I work out, I use Ignite. After my workout, I use Rescue. During the day, before presentations, whatever, I use Rescue. And then at night comes the sweet spot of deep sleep. Deep sleep is the only product we've ever created that does not require a headphone. It requires a speaker. It took us 9 years to invent this. 9 years. Why? Well, as good as we are at neuroscience, we seem to be maybe even better at social psychology. We don't care to build amazingly complex solutions to solve complex human problems if you're not going to use it. So we're always paying attention to behavioral patterns. And we know the CPAP machine has tremendously pathetic compliance rates because people don't want to wear it. Well, who wants to wear a headphone to bed? So with a speaker in your bedroom, this is a simple example. Our three girls each have these in their bedroom. It provides good frequency range. The deep sleep tracks are 2 to 3 gigabytes of information. Think about that. The song's like 5 megabytes. These are 2 to 3 gigabytes, thousands of times larger than a song, because we're bringing to the world and to your brain physics and math, not music and entertainment. So with a speaker in your bedroom, you select whatever track you want, you press play, we put you to sleep. Now, you have access to the Mastermind Vault. There's about 3,100 people that have access to the Mastermind Vault. They're called our masterminds, and they paid $3,500 for the right to be masterminds. Well, you have a VIP Plus subscription, which is not available to the public. You can't buy this anywhere. So you have access to the Mastermind Vault. In the Mastermind Sleep are a different product. Now, if you go to Deep Sleep, the purple one, you can see all these choices. Now, the physics platform is identical for all of this. This is really about your listening pleasure. What do you like? Summer Rain is my favorite. Sonic Essence is my wife's. Doesn't matter. You can select 8 hour or 10 hour. It's not like you're not going to wake up. When you're done sleeping and you've had enough rest, you wake up regardless of if it's on or not. But it's really the mastermind sleep that you want to pay attention to. You're either going to use the deepest sleep plus at the top or the mastermind sleep. And in there, you're going to select Summer Rain or Sonic Essence. Why? Because we built something last year called Deepest Sleep. You see, after 40 years old, we as a human species have something called a liver, and our liver wakes up between 2 and 3 in the morning. Boo. And we get up to pee. Fine, I can do that. But a lot of times when we get up to pee, the amygdala wakes up and we begin to worry about stuff, think about things. Then we start getting a little agitated. We can't fall back to sleep. So then the stress hormone cortisol joins the party. And then we're done. We're not going to sleep for like an hour or two. Well, we know this. We know the human biorhythm. We know that if you go to bed at 10, you're waking up at 2. If you go to bed at 11, you're waking up at 3. We know this. This is a biological fact. Think I'm crazy? We think we're alone. We think we're the only person that experiences that. But I guarantee you, if you tonight at 2:37 get up to go to the bathroom and call one of your friends, they're going to answer the phone because they're up going to the bathroom too. So this isn't unique to us. So the deep sleep inside the vault brings back the physics at hour 4 and puts you back to sleep. It is incredible. So if you've been using deep sleep, you already know what to experience. Number one, you're sleeping deeper, you're sleeping longer, you're falling asleep faster. When you get up to pee, you're falling back asleep, and you're beginning to dream again. And you're probably thinking, what is going on here? Well, the more we balance your stress response, the more we balance your nervous system, the more we're bringing back your sleep habits to the formative years before puberty. We're bringing you back to the natural state. You're going to be sleeping better. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter anything about what you've accumulated in your biochemistry since you were born. None of that matters. You're going to begin to dream again. And it's profound and it doesn't go away. So you're going to wake up feeling like you slept. You're going to wake up maybe experiencing weird dreams. Over time, how do you know that rescue during the day and deep sleep's working? I'll tell you how. Because things that used to agitate you won't. Things that used to trigger you won't. You'll be starting to see patterns and you'll start to be able to be responsive to things that used to trigger you, period. You'll be more patient. You'll be more present in the moment without judgment. You see, our capacity to think too much, to have seven conversations going on behind our eyes all the time, it's fatiguing, number one. Number two, we're either running to the future or we're thinking about the past. Very rarely are we present in the moment with our loved ones, with our friends, with our goals, with what we're trying to accomplish. Go, 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 go. No, 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 no. After rescue, you'll notice your feet feel more grounded to the earth. Your soul feels at ease. Your stomach feels comfortable. But you feel patient and present in the moment without judgment. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the lifestyle of a monk. But you're not a monk. So you can think and have the nervous system of a monk and live your life. It's a brilliant juxtaposition of what we can do with NuCalm. Don't mind me, I'm just checking the time and I can't really see that well. At about age 47, my eyes started to fatigue. No one told me that if you got readers, your brain that doesn't really want to work this hard as the amygdala gets lazy. And if I don't work out my eyes, I need glasses more. So I can barely see anything. And I used to have incredible vision. So there you go. So NuCalm, you have a mobile app. On that app, you have products that manage all five categories of human brainwave function. Deep sleep for sleep, rescue and PowerNap for cellular health, restoration, rejuvenation, cellular resilience, lowering inflammation. You have FlowState. FlowState doesn't take you to the depths of theta. It holds you at 7.83 hertz, which happens to be the magnetic rotation in the Earth's frequency. It's called the Schumann resonance. But that state is also the creative zone for you. So if you're a creative person or you want access to your subconscious without any anxiety and fear and worry and you want a relaxed state, use FlowState. Not as deep cellular restoration, but a lot of creativity. Focus takes your brain to 18.4 hertz. You can listen to it all day long. You can listen to it with a speaker. You can listen to it with headphones. Through a speaker, NuCalm's physics are effective. Through a headphone, they are maximum effectiveness. So through a speaker, okay, not as precise. Headphone, very precise and very powerful. Ignite takes you to 41 hertz. Through a speaker, it amplifies me. With headphones on, you are significantly amplified. So for those of you who are working out, you want to break your PRs, you're going to notice your endurance and your strength and your ability to overcome pain is improved at 41 hertz. It's quite a mind bender, and we hear routine information on people breaking their personal records. In fact, we've had a couple gentlemen run across the United States. That's right, run 3,200 miles from LA to New York, supported by NuCalm, using deep sleep in their van at night, rescue to recover a couple times a day, and ignite when they're really dragging, or focus when they're on long runs, across the Midwest or something. There's nothing to look at, and their mind is starting to play tricks on them. They listen to focus. NuCalm can do no harm. And NuCalm is for everybody, from in utero to 100 years old, anywhere around the world. We've got NuCalm users in 100 plus countries. This is a tool to help you downregulate your stress. If you wanted to, you could do a simple experiment for the next 7 days. You could take any caffeine, alcohol, recreational drugs, pharmaceuticals, all that things. Put them on one side of the table. Put the NuCalm mobile app and a headphone and eye mask on the other side of the table, and you'd never have to touch the right side of the table. Just get your headphones, your eye mask, and you can modulate your brainwave frequency to whatever outcome you select on demand. And in this process, you will regain command of your thinking, of your mood, of your ability to become responsive. And it's amazing. It seems like a miracle. It's not. We're using advanced technology and we're using tech in the form of an app and a headphone really to bring us back to the roots of humanity, how we used to relax. Our life used to be a lot more relaxing. When's the last time you went to a neighbor's house and just sat down and had a cookie and some milk and talked? 10 years ago? I mean, the pace of our life is untenable. So there are things in our life that we must put into play, habits. Could be yoga, could be Tai Chi, could be Wim Hof breathing techniques, could be meditation, could be NuCalm. For me, it's NuCalm. For me, I like the predictability of it. This is math and physics. It doesn't choose not to work for me, and I don't have to work at it. I tried meditation for years as a martial artist. I was terrible at it. Every time I closed my eyes to meditate, I'd have a panic attack worrying about my problems. I didn't like meditation. I'm still intimidated by it, and I'm filled with shame because I have no idea how to meditate. I don't have to. I can put a headphone on, I can put an eye mask on, and I can meditate like a monk with no effort. I get up and I feel amazing. So, welcome to the New Calm family. This is for you. This is for everybody in your life. If you've been using NuCalm, Rescue, and Deep Sleep, the people in your life have already started noticing changes. I know this because we've seen this happen for millions of people, from complex trauma to addiction, to veterans, active military, you name it, cancer patients, neurodegenerative disease. It doesn't matter. We don't realize how much stress we hold with us until it's gone. We resilient humans can normalize dysfunction. We can handle a lot. But when the stress is gone, and the first rescue experience, you'll notice there's no stress. It's amazing what we've been carrying and we didn't have to. So, welcome to the New Calm family. We joke the New Calm family is the family you keep. Um, it's an honor to have you. It's a privilege to take care of you. Please let us know if there's anything we can do for you. And enjoy NuCalm, enjoy Rescue, PowerNap, Focus, FlowState, Ignite, Deep Sleep for everybody in your life. Good luck, be well, take care of yourselves.